Hebrew, sadly. But we are finally getting to another holiday. I'm so happy. So it is going to be Purim. Because honestly, I was learning about it, I'm like, this sounds really fun. So yeah, we want to celebrate fun holidays, right? So that's exactly what we're gonna do. First, I'm gonna tell you about like how they celebrate it, and then I'm gonna tell you the backstory behind it. Let's hope I can not take forever to tell that wonderful story. So, first things first, they wear costumes. Oh wait, first things first, it's a Jewish holiday. It is in the Bible, like the Christians in the Old Testament, and also like, the Jewish like Bible bit as well. So yeah, that's like where the story is, if y'all want to go find it. And that's, you get what I mean, the backstory. So yeah, they wear costumes to celebrate, and some of the costumes are like characters from the story. People just dress up as them, and then some people just dress up as like random things like Harry Potter. I don't know why, but I guess that just makes them happy. That's fun. And then the second thing is they eat like cookies called Ozne Haman, which means ears of Haman. And yeah, that's just kind of a funny thing. And then third, they give each other these cool like baskets of just like food, I think, like stuff, and just kind of share, love, celebrate together. I forgot what those are called. I'm sorry, I tried. But yeah, that's just a few of the fun things that they do, and just like the kind of a point of the holiday is to celebrate and have fun. And we're about to figure out why we're celebrating in one moment. Okay, so this is actually a pretty long story, but I'm trying to sum it up in the best way possible. So I guess I could have read this in Hebrew, but I'm like, y'all, I need a break. And I want holidays to kind of be in English, because I know it's important to have just English sometimes. So yeah, but eventually I'll read something in Hebrew. Don't worry. And it's a long story, so yeah. Where was I? So, the beginning of the story. It's about this girl named Esther. She's also had like a name, Hadassah. It's a cool name, but we mostly call her Esther. And she lived in the Persian Empire. She was a Jew that had been exiled, and she lived with her older cousin Mordecai, yeah. And he like adopted her and took care of her since her parents had died. Okay, so we got them over here, got it? And then we have the king of this empire. His name was Xerxes. And he had his wife, and her name was Queen Vashti. And he threw this giant festival for like many days and stuff. It was like 180, and then like threw another one. And he like called his wife, Queen Vashti, over, and he's like, he wants her to come and like show her to all his like friends. But you know what? She's like, no, I'm not gonna come over there for you just to like show me off. And obviously he got a bit offended, and so he's like, dudes, like, what am I gonna do? Like, I can't just let this happen, can I? And they're like, no, you can't, or else all the wives across the kingdom will rebel against their husbands. And so he's like, no, she's not queen anymore. So yeah, she's gone. And he's like, you know what? We should look for another queen. And so that's where Esther comes in. So they like, there's this kingdom-wide decree, and they bring like all the beautiful young virgin girls to the palace, and then they get beauty treatments for a year. And then they come to like see the king, and he like decides to choose one. And so Mordecai actually warned Esther to like not tell people about her like nationality and stuff. And so she just goes, and you know what? She's a very beautiful young woman, and King Xerxes like, yes, I love her. And so she actually becomes queen. It's a really cool story. But yeah, she was like, even when she went to meet the king, she didn't like wear all these fancy jewels. It's like, just go as you are. And like, you know what? He appreciated that. So she became queen and lived in the palace, and Mordecai was just kind of kept living his life on in like that same town he lived. And he actually heard of this plot to kill the king. And so he told Esther about it, and she told the king. And so yeah, thankfully he got saved. His life was saved. But Esther's like, yeah, Mordecai told me this. And so they actually like wrote it down in these books, and it was really cool. But then like Haman, the king's like royal advisor, like one day he was walking by and Mordecai didn't bow down to him because Mordecai's like, no, I don't want to bow down to you. Like, I only bow down to my God. And so yeah, Haman had it out for Mordecai. And so he knew that Mordecai was a Jew, so he's like, you know what? I'm not just going to kill Mordecai. I'm going to kill all Jews everywhere. And so he made this decree to like, for people to just like kill all the Jews. And he gave it to the king, and the king signed it. And it was just like, and Esther's like, what? Because she was a Jew. And she was like really worried. But Mordecai's like, don't worry about it, like, everything will be okay. And so, eventually, she asked the king to this banquet. And she also invites Haman. But the thing is, it wasn't just like, oh, hey, king, come to my banquet. She had to go into, like, his palace chambers or whatever and, like, kneel down before him and ask for it. But the thing is, if you weren't summoned by the king, like, he could, like, have you beheaded, I think. Like, it was really scary. So she was like, oh, like, what do I do? So she had courage, and she went in there. Like, she was gonna ask for, like, the Jews to be freed. Like, don't let this happen. But, yeah, she was like, no, you know what? So, but he was a really nice king. He's like, what do you want? Like, he accepted her. He didn't, like, kill her, obviously. He's like, I'll give you anything, even if it's half my kingdom. So she's like, how about you and Haman come and just have this lunch with me in a day or something like that. And he's like, oh, of course, that sounds great. And you know what? They came and ate, and she wasn't ready, so she invited them back for another luncheon. But it turns... Where am I going? Okay, I think we need to pause. Okay? That's good. So, I'm sorry. I mean, look at the time. I'm talking a lot, but I'm going to try... I reread, and I'm going to try to, like, sum it up really fast. And yes. So, I'm going to go back in between the two lunches. There was... The king, he had, like, this nightmare or whatever, I think, and he ended up just, like, reading the royal books and whatnot, and he finds the story about how Mordecai saved his life, and he's like, what? I can't believe I didn't, like, appreciate this guy more earlier. And so he's thinking about that, and then Haman over here is like, you know what, every day I see Mordecai over there, and it just makes me mad. I'm not going to be happy till he's dead. And so he makes this sharpened pole in the front of the palace, and he's like, I'm going to hang Mordecai on that. So then the two guys get together, and the king's like, what should I do to honor someone? And Haman's like, he's thinking, he's going to honor me, right? Of course. And so he's like, get the king's robes and put them on him, and have him ride through the city on his horse, and everyone cheering for him and stuff. And then the king's like, good idea. Now go do that to Mordecai. And Haman's like, what? Mordecai? But he does it because, you know, that's kind of his job. But he was so mad. He goes home and he's just like, wait, is that when they make the pole? Okay, maybe that's when he, like, puts the pole up there. He's like, I'm gonna kill Mordecai. But he doesn't get the chance to do it, because then they go to Queen Esther's second banquet, and the king's like, tell me what your request is. Even if it's half the kingdom, I'll give it to you. And she's like, I plead for the lives of me and my people. And the king's like, what? Who would try to kill you? And Queen Esther's like, this guy, Haman, right here, trying to kill me and my people. And the king's like, what? Why would you kill her? And like, it was kind of getting heated in there. But yeah, long story short, the king was super mad at Haman for that. And so he gets put up on his own pole and killed. And yeah, that's quite the peak, kind of, not exactly. So then Mordecai gets to come, king invites him in. He's like, you know what, I'm not sure how to reverse the damage that like the Jews, like that royal decree that went out, like you can kill him. But he's like, here, I'm giving you my signet ring. He's like, you know, with that you can't undo, but like you can try to fix it. And so Mordecai writes up this decree. All the Jews, like on that day when everyone's trying to kill them, they like can protect themselves and their families from like getting killed. I'm not exactly like sure, but I mean like that just, it worked. Like the day came, and instead of hearing like all these Jews died, like they were able to defend themselves, and like 10 of Haman's sons died, and like they were killing their enemies who were trying to kill them. And you know what, it was kind of like war, but like short, I guess, and it worked out. So yeah, then everyone started, not everyone, but yeah, that's when Purim came to be, and like they just celebrated kind of their freedom and just enjoyed like their lives that they still had. Yeah, so I think that's really our story. I mean, Queen Esther is just, I always wanted to hear about that when I was little. She's just like really brave, and like she was able to save the lives of her people. And I love that story. Okay, I've talked enough. Okay, so we had that really long story. I'm so sorry it's so long, but thank you. And so, thank you for watching so much. So, Purim is actually like at the end of this month, but so we're all ready. If you want to wear a costume, like dress up, have fun, just think about it and celebrate. I think it's February 25th by my calendar. So yes, I'm excited. What about you? I don't know. Okay, so subscribe if you haven't. Like, I hope you really enjoyed this video and learned a lot from it, and comment. Tell me what you thought, and I'll see you next time. Bye, or shalom.